being of service to people and making a difference for people. So I'm proud to have him speak today, and let's give him our listening. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. As you can see, it's Speaker Blue Shirt Day, so we're color coordinated. What's that? Throat chakra. There we go. There we go. Yes. It's a real honor. I'm really thankful for Jacques for asking me to speak here today. And I said, Jacques, what do I talk about? I mean, who's going to be there? What's going on? What do you want me to say? And he said, he gave me a list of things, subjects and ideas to talk about. And it got me thinking that maybe I should just share my experience of what's happened in my life through the power of the greatest piece of real estate in the whole world. Does anybody know where that is? It's the 6 inches right between your ears. The mind is so fascinating, and I've learned so much about it through my whole entire life, and I'm still learning so much more. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a picture of an iceberg in an ocean, and usually there's posters. You can see them on Facebook and all the little Pinterest sites and all that sort of stuff, and they'll show you an iceberg, and you'll see the top of it, but they'll show it from the water level, and 2% is on top, and the other 98% is under the water. And that's basically the power of our minds. Most of us, practically 98% of us, are only using 2% of our mind's power. The other 98% is going totally untouched. And it's amazing, once you start tapping into the power of your mind, the amazing things that can happen in your life. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So to kind of take you back, way back, when I was a little kid, and everybody says this, it's like, wow, I just kind of felt different, right? And I imagine a lot of people, would you agree with that statement? Like you're growing up and you just felt, man, I just felt like I was kind of different. And for me, it was that I would kind of stand off while everybody else was playing, and I just kind of go, yeah, okay. Just kind of observe things. And to me, even in my young mind, I started sensing that there was way more going on than just what was going on. So as I started growing, I started, seeing, watching TVs, and I'm going to kind of date myself here, like TV shows like The Monkees, and seeing, the Rolling Stones on TV, and all these concerts, and I was like, man, that's what I want to do. I'm going to be a rock star, right? So that was my first kind of goal and mission in life. And as I got into high school, I just kept that vision going, and really didn't know, but I got into music, and things kind of happened. But then I found a little pamphlet called The Little Red Book, and this kind of almost predated Think and Grow Rich. It was written in 1927, and I wish I knew the author's name, but it was just a small little pamphlet. It was about 10 pages, and all it basically said was, whatever your goals in life are, just imagine them. Just get quiet, just think of them, picture them, and then allow it to happen. And that was the basic instructions. So as I got into high school, I started going, well, let's see if this stuff works. So I started doing it, and then things would start happening. People would start coming up to me and asking me to be in bands, and giving me opportunities, and all of a sudden, bars would ask us to play and that sort of stuff. And believe me, we weren't that good. We were not that good. But these offers started coming in. So I thought, okay. So I kept on working with it, and I thought, by this time I was about 18, and I thought, I am going to be a rock star. That's just, there's no other alternative. This is what I'm going to be. So I thought, okay, well, if it kind of worked before, I'm really going to start putting this practice to use. So I started visualizing every night when I went to sleep, not really knowing the science behind it, that I was going to get into a band and go on tour and tour Canada. And within 3 weeks, I got a call from a management company who said, listen, we want you to come to Danny's in Windsor. I was living in Tilbury at the time, making 25 bucks a weekend playing in the band, and that's all the money I had. I was living in the upstairs of a buddy's house, no money, basically, you know, eating a bologna sandwich a day. That's what I survived on. So I got this call. Danny's was a rock and roll bar at the time. It was owned by the biggest rock and roll managers. Yeah. Well, I've got another Danny's career story after that, but that's, we won't get into that.
There's a
yeah.
pause.
Believe me, that was part of my career too. But, a whole different era. So I got this call. They invited me right off the bat. These guys managed a lot of big rock and roll bands, and they had me come in and they said, "Listen, here's the deal. We're going to set you up. We've got a touring rock band. They're leaving for Newfoundland next week, and we need a guitar player, and you're the guy. So you're going to go on tour. We're going to pay you X amount of dollars, plus you get a free room upstairs. So you live rent-free, you got paid band, you're on tour in a rock and roll band." Manifested like that.
Nice one.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought, wow, man, this is really good. So I played that out, and at the time, I could care less about money, man. I was living the dream. We were out on the road, playing, having a great time, seeing the country. It was all good. Well, as all things do, they come, they go, they end, you know, they rebuild. That band ended. I ended up back in Windsor, got with another band, but at the same time, I thought, okay, I'm back to square one. Now I'm living, I no longer lived at Danny's because the management company disbanded us and basically kicked us all out. I thought, I need some money. So I thought, let's put this to work again. So visualization, boom, got a job within a week. And it was one of those things that I had no options, none whatsoever. Got the job. Next thing you know, got another band. Now I'm playing 6 nights a week, working 6 days a week. I thought, wow, this is cool. Because by this time, I'm making $500-600 a week, man. I was like living large. That was like, wow, I'm rich. And that was the fateful time I found a little classified ad in the back of a Rolling Stone magazine that said, "Double your income, guaranteed through the power of hypnosis." And I had heard the term hypnosis. I didn't really realize I was kind of already doing it, but I sent my 15 bucks away. I got a cassette tape back. That's how long ago this was. And the instructions simply said, listen to this tape every night when you go to sleep at night. And they gave a little bit of a reasoning behind it, is that we all go into hypnosis when we go to sleep at night. And it's the alpha and theta stages of consciousness. We're all in beta right now. We're wide awake, we're tuned in, everything's good, and we're conscious. In alpha, it's kind of when you're studying, when you're listening to music, when you're driving even. All of a sudden you're 6 miles down the road, you've missed your exit, and you're like, what the heck happened? That's an alpha state. When you go into theta, that's a deep hypnotic trance state. When you go into delta, you're snoring, your wife or husband's probably elbowing you and want to beat you over the head first to wake you up. But we all go into hypnosis. I was already doing this stuff, not even knowing it. So I started listening to this cassette tape once again. It was like guaranteed 30 days. About 2.5 weeks later, this total stranger comes up and he goes, we get in this conversation, he goes, well, you know what, today is a great day. And I go, well, why is it a great day? He says, I quit my job. And I'm going, well, that can't be too good. He goes, no, I got a better one. And then he got this weird look. He goes, you want mine? And I'm like, yeah, whatever, buddy. I mean, I don't even know this guy, right? He said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to phone my boss. I'm going to tell him that you're going to come down to the office at the end of the day, and I guarantee you'll have the job. And I'm like, yeah, well, right, whatever. So he gives me the boss's number. He left. And I thought, what are the odds? So I phoned. 4 o'clock. Guy says, can you come down to my office? I said, yes, I can. So I drove all the way out to this guy's office. Sat there, we had a 5-minute conversation. It consisted of, hey, you like the Tigers, you like the Red Wings, you like the hockey, football, blah, blah, blah. And so we chit-chatted for a little bit. He goes, well, you start on Mondays, show up at 7 o'clock. I said, you don't even know who I am. He said, well, you came with a great reference. I goes, I don't even know the guy that gave you the reference. I said, how much does it pay? It was exactly double what I was making. Double. To the penny. I was hooked on hypnosis ever since then. I've used hypnosis audio programs ever since then to not only increase my confidence, banish fears, just all sorts of things. The increased income is phenomenal, because once you start tuning your mind into positive energies of thinking positively, that there's tons of money out there and all you got to do is just attract it, it just starts showing up. To the point that there was one time I had to stop listening to the damn tape because I couldn't take any more work. Now, to kind of flip forward, at the end of the rock and roll era, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, Nirvana came into existence in 1990, killed the whole music business. All of a sudden, all the bars shut down. Because everybody didn't want to hear, I hate myself and I want to die. Woo, Friday night, yeah, party, right? And bars just closed up. Like, we went from playing 5, 6, 7 nights a week to nothing. So I thought, okay, once again, let's use the hypnosis program. Let's see what's out there. I'm an entertainer. I mean, I got to be out there. I got to be in front of a crowd. I've got to do stuff to make people happy. That's just who I am. What the heck am I going to do? So I put the thought into the universe that I will make even more money entertaining. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to put it out there. It's going to happen. And as a result, people started, just for whatever reason, started asking me to DJ their weddings. I don't know why. No idea. But they just did. And I found out that, yeah, instead of making $500 a week, I was making $700 a night. Thank you very much. I'll take that all day long. Right? And it just started snowballing from there. At the end of, and that's when I formed Party Mix Entertainment, ran that business from 1998, and I just sold it in 2012. During that time, around 2009, 2010, I started getting just tired of it. By this time, I was DJing clubs, I was DJing weddings on the weekends, I was making killer money, and working like maybe 2-3 nights a week. And you know, it's like, wow, what more could a guy ask for? But you get bored of that stuff, right? And you always need challenges. So once again, I put it out into the universe. It's like, I want to travel, I want to make double the money that I'm making now. At the time I was making about 40 grand a year. So I want to make at least 65, 75, maybe 80 grand. So just put it out there, I'm going to double this. I want to entertain, and I want to see the world, and I want somebody else to pay for it. I have no idea how this is going to happen. Started doing hypnosis again. Just put it out there, visualizing, using audio hypnosis programs each and every night. And as fate would have it, gotta love Google, train how to be a stage hypnotist. And I thought, over the course of, you know, the 15, 20 years I've been in the entertainment business, I saw a couple of hypnosis shows. And all of a sudden, my mind went right back to maybe 1992 or 1987 or whatever, seeing these hypnosis shows going, man, if I ever decide to not be in the musician side of entertainment, that's what I'm going to do. And that thought was like 15, 20 years before all of a sudden this learn how to become a stage hypnotist came into my life. But it did. Fast forward again. I started off my hypnosis career. Jacques spoke of, you got to be persistent. When you start off things, yeah, you're not going to be the overnight star overnight. My very first show was at the Sunnyside Tavern in LaSalle before they closed it. So, I mean, there was nobody in there. Nobody even went there. But they were the only bar that said, yeah, come on in, do a show. You know, it's like the best thing we've done in 7 years. So, here, and I promised Jacques I'd tell this story. My very first show, this is how great it went. I had approximately 17 people show up. And this was after the 4 people at the bar that were there from about maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon got into a huge fight, bar brawl. 2 couples, 2 guys, the 2 girls, okay? Wasted by the time we got there to set up for the 9 o'clock show. We got there at 7 o'clock. And the one guy put his feet up on the bar, the other guy goes, "What are you doing living in a bar?" And he's going, "Screw you." Next thing you know, the fists are flying, the beer bottles. Seriously, one guy broke a beer bottle over the other guy's head. It was crazy. The girls got into it because they're trying to break up the guys. Next thing you know, the girls are fighting. And I'm looking, I'm going, great, this is the start of my show, right? And believe it or not, I thought, okay, I walked right up to them and I said, on the count of 3, you're going to stop. 1, 2, 3. And they went. And they looked at each other and they just went back to the bar and started drinking again. It was the weirdest thing ever. But it got worse. Because by this time, the barmaid called the cops, so now, like, it's LaSalle, they've got nothing to do, so there's 6 cops and 3 squad cars sitting outside the bar, right? And this is like, now it's 45 minutes before showtime, nobody's even showing up. Well, actually, people started pulling in the parking lot, seeing the cop cars turn around and leaving. Finally got all that mess cleaned up. People started coming in. We actually got a total of 17 people at the first show. I said, listen, I need volunteers. Come on up and experience hypnosis. Nobody wanted to. There's no show without volunteers. So I said, listen, just humor me. Just sit there, close your eyes, just relax, let's just see what happens. Finally got a few people come up. By the 3rd attempt, a buddy of mine who didn't volunteer the first 2 times came up. And he said, listen, man, I know you're struggling because the first 2 times nothing happened, nobody went out, nothing. This guy drops like a rock. Like, he went so deep into hypnosis, he was pouring out of his chair. Well, the funny thing was that, and actually it wasn't funny to me, it was funny to everybody else. I said, listen, I said, on the count of 3, you're on the beach. You know, you're in Cancun, you're enjoying a vacation, relax, sit back in your lounge chair. Nothing happened. Okay, on the count of 3, you're racing in the Daytona 500. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. So I said, okay, sit up straight, eyes open, what's going on? He goes, just put me back there. He was what's called a somnambulist. He was so deep in hypnosis, he didn't want to come out of it, right? So finally, I just woke him up and I said, well, thanks for coming out. That's the show. Good night. So that was my first show, Jacques, and that's how bad it was. And from that point now, you know, to fast forward again, I've been touring for over 5 years now. 2014, I did 85 grand, doing 47 shows. So basically at an hour a show. So I worked 47 hours, made over 80 grand, wow, making people believe they're kangaroos. So tell me hypnosis doesn't work, right? The thing is that all of you guys are all in business, right? And there's things that you guys want to accomplish. It could be making more sales. It could be getting more clients. It could be expanding your markets. It could be whatever that thing is that you're still struggling with can be accomplished, and here's why. You've probably heard of the law of attraction. There's laws of this and laws of that. There's a law of reciprocity as well. When you think of a thought, it just means that that answer is already out there for you to receive it too. You just have to connect with it, and that's why hypnosis is so powerful. Something that I want to definitely leave you guys with, first of all, how are we doing on time? Are we okay on time, John?
I'll give you 4 minutes, that works.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I just wanted to, I mean, the thing that when Jacques asked me to speak, I thought, I have no idea what I'm going to speak about, but it's funny that when I started my hypnosis career, I thought, well, it's going to be great. I get to travel, I get to make people laugh, and you know, just really make everybody forget their problems for an hour and a half, which is an awesome, awesome thing to do. But I always had in the back of my mind, this is going back 5 or 6 years ago, that this is only the beginning. I want to take what I'm showing and demonstrating to people and actually helping them do it themselves. Because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. A hypnotist doesn't hypnotize anybody. He just guides the person into hypnosis, and they do it on their own anyway. So all of you guys have the process of going to hypnosis. And once again, you go into hypnosis when you go to sleep at night. You go into hypnosis when you're driving. You're going to hypnosis when you're working on computers or reading a book. I mean, it's daydreaming is hypnosis. So you automatically go there too. Once again, to get to my point, is that 5 years ago I thought this is only the beginning. And the universe, I put it out to the universe that I'm going to do something greater with this gift that's been given to me. And ironically, the universe is starting to knock on my door. Again, I'm getting calls. I just got a call from a lady who does seminars for business leaders that wants to partner with me to take it into the corporate market to do actual sales trainings and really teach sales teams and executives on really how to just up their game mentally. Because if you up your game mentally, everything just else, it's like water, you know? Water rises and floats all ships. It does the same thing with your mind. So, I mean, if there's anything I can leave you guys with, the story that I just told you about what's happened to me is definitely not me bragging whatsoever. I just wanted to just simply share what's possible once you start utilizing the power of your own mind. And it's so easy to do. The thing is that you also have to, it's a good idea to work with somebody that actually can kind of guide you in the right direction, because believe me, this magic genie, you ask it, it creates it for you. And I'll tell you a story about how it can create it for you in the wrong way. Back when I was, this is about at least 15 years ago, when I was making money and doing really good, and I thought, okay, now I want to get out of living at a buddy's place. I want my own place. So I want to buy a house. So I thought, okay, let's do it. I'm going to get the down payment for the house. It's coming to me. You know, the money's coming in, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? A month and a half later, I got hit by a car. And I got a lawsuit that was the exact amount of money as the down payment that I needed for a duplex. So you got to be careful about how you project things and visualize things, because it will show up. It just might show up in not a way that you expect. I will also be doing a seminar coming up. I'm doing some weight loss seminars that are going to be coming up, but everybody looks in great shape, so I guess you guys don't need that. So there's no sense talking about that. But in all of this, I developed a system on how each one of you can become debt-free. And it's super simple to do. The hard part is becoming mentally conditioned to actually do it. And that's the same thing with weight loss, it's the same thing with health, it's the same thing with career and creating more money. It's easy to do. The difficulty is the challenge within your own mind. There's little cards on your seats. If you'd like to fill out one of those, just a name, phone number, and an email, that way I can get a hold of you and give you the exact time and location of where that seminar is going to be. I'm going to be teaching you guys a very, very simple method on how you can become debt-free real fast. Real fast. So once again, Jacques, I appreciate this time, man. I really, really appreciate this time. I appreciate all of your attention. Thank you. Thank you.